Hey, welcome to this week's edition of the Horror Debate. I'm Jeff Rowdy J. here, and with me is Michael Mandy.
And this week we're going to be reviewing The Wicker Man, the original from 1973, starring Christopher Lee and Edward Woodward.
Oh, man. If you would have told me that I was going to sit through 90 minutes of this dude asking everybody on this island the same question over and over again.
It wasn't 90 minutes, it was 88 minutes.
It seemed like 90 hours, man. Okay? I told you, I've had 90 minutes at proctologist appointments that were more fun than this thing, okay?
Ouch. Dude, every week I learned something new about you.
Terrible. I mean, okay.
What's the plot of this film here, Jeff?
There isn't one. Let me just tell you, the plot was me sitting there looking at you like, what are you making me watch?
Hey, you wanted to see this.
I wanted to see it. Let me explain to you people exactly why I want to see this, because I will fess up and I will say that I'm the one who brought this movie up.
Yes, he did.
Let me tell you why. Because Nick Cage, who is a reputable actor, in my opinion, did a remake of this movie.
So yeah, we want to see.
And I saw the commercial for it, and I said, "Oh yeah, there was an older movie that had the same name. Hopefully, we haven't watched the Nick Cage one quite yet.
No. Hopefully,
it's gonna actually move." Because this dude could have been dead at the beginning of the movie, and it may have been more exciting.
And were you surprised that I actually own a copy of this movie?
No, not at all.
Well,
this is right up your alley, man.
There's two reasons why I own this movie, and
they shipped you the wrong copy and the wrong movie.
Actually, three reasons. The first reason, because Christopher Lee is awesome in whatever he does, and the other
he looked like Al Pacino.
And the other two reasons are Britt Eklund's left one and right.
Okay, all right. Now that one I'll give you. But how can you tell me, dude? Well, as soon as we saw Christopher Lee come out, I said Al Pacino.
Oh yeah, that hippie hair.
He looked just like Al. If you could picture Al drunk. Okay, and coming out of a bar at 3 a.m., this is what Christopher Lee looked like in this movie, okay?
The basic plot of this film is there's this little island off the coast of Scotland, and...
Remind me never to visit.
This little girl goes missing, and her mother writes a letter to the police, who are located over on England. So they send one policeman over, Edward Woodward, who...
the equalizer.
So he runs around and asking, where have you seen this girl? And he's showing the picture to
that
everybody.
wasn't bad. You know what? They could have cast you, and I might have actually enjoyed it. You know what I mean? That wasn't bad.
That was my Scotty accent.
Okay, good. Well, speaking of good and not so good, there's nothing here, man. I mean, I don't see what the draw is of this movie. I don't see why people on the internet are raving about this movie.
Here, one of the quotes: "The most intelligent and interesting stories I have ever seen on
Intelligent?
film."
You had a dude running around with a deer stuck out in front of his private part, okay? And you're telling me this is intelligent? Yeah. Who wrote that? Benny Hill? What is this movie?
Well,
what was the purpose of this movie?
The purpose of this movie was to show the pagan rituals and to show paganism in a world that's dominated with Christianity and Judaism and.
I'm sitting in disbelief as he tries to put any sense to this whatsoever,
I'm trying
folks.
to put sense into this.
There's nothing. Believe me. I mean,
yeah, it's a mystery. Some people debate whether it's a horror film or not, and the thing is, no, it's not a horror film in my mind. It's not a horror film. It's a mystery.
Oh, it was a horror film. It's just in a whole new way, man.
Okay, the final scenes of it where, you know what? Should I spoil this for you?
I don't care.
Edward Woodward gets burned up inside the Wicker Man, okay? And that's the end of the movie. I expected, what happened after
He obviously got out because he did the Equalizer later.
Yeah, but...
right?
But so the whole thing, people say this is a horror film because it's horrible what they do to this innocent guy. Okay... To me, that doesn't qualify as a horror film. It's just, wow.
This isn't horror.
It sucks to be you.
I asked you throughout the movie. I looked over at you, and you were sitting there with that look on your face like Rowdy's hating this, right?
I knew you
had that look on your face, right?
I tried to warn you. I really tried to warn me. I tried to warn you.
You said it's not what you expect.
Yeah, you expect it to be a horror film.
That's like saying that when you're standing at the top of the Empire State Building, if I told you to jump off, it wouldn't be what you expected. You know what I mean?
Would.
I mean, well, that'd be the same thing, man. This was a train wreck from beginning to end, man.
Oh, you gotta love the hippie music at the beginning.
The soundtrack, I did make a comment at the beginning.
Irish hippie music.
If we had this, on a CD, we could crank it up like in the sports car and drive down the street.
It's kind of like Rob McEwen.
Really trip people out.
is almost as bad as the Rod McEwen music in the Charlie Brown cartoon, the one where he's at the spelling bee.
I'm going to try to be serious here for a minute and just say that if I would have known that
I tried to warn you.
If I would have known that Edward Woodward did this movie when I was watching The Equalizer, I probably would have turned that off too. Okay, that is how bad this movie really is. It's terrible, top to bottom, terrible. Didn't grab me any way, shape, or form. Didn't move me in any way, shape, or form. When he was burning, I was loving it. Okay, because it would shut him up.
Oh, but he wasn't shutting up. He was shouting louder than ever.
But finally though, it went silent. Remember that when it went silent?
Yeah,
he's screaming about how he's going to be reborn and in all this
and singing "The Lord is my shepherd."
Yeah, and then all of a sudden,
well, yeah, because he was supposed to be dead.
It was a beautiful thing.
You gotta admit,
I wanted to bust out the marshmallows. Okay,
you gotta admit that was a cool visual, seeing that giant Wicker Man burning up, and when the head fell down, the sun was right behind it.
Another cool visual was all the kids naked jumping around the pond or whatever it was. I mean, what were they doing?
Well, you can't jump over fire with your clothes on.
This director obviously. That's true. That was a line in the movie. Because it's a lot safer to jump over the fire if you're nude. I mean, what the heck? I thought you were kidding with me. When you put this movie on, man. I thought,
folks, we have not been drinking.
This was a candid camera moment, if ever there was one, man. If you could have seen my face, looking at Mike, going, "You got to be kidding me, right?" I mean, and then I'm trying to picture, this is me, right? I'm trying to picture the remake.
We are totally sober here.
And I'm trying to picture Nick Cage doing this and trying to be believable. Now, hopefully they totally rewrote the thing. Hopefully it's completely different.
I told you before, I have no clue about the Nicolas Cage film.
If I spent money to rent the new Wicker Man and it's nearly as bad as this, dude, it's on. Absolutely no stars. I'm giving this movie the fat bomb. I would go into technical details, but it didn't really matter.
No, it was made in 72.
They remastered it in Dolby Digital. I didn't hear one peep out of my rear speakers whatsoever. I mean, what's the point?
Yeah, I would love to give it 1 star just for Britt Eklund appeing naked in it.
Oh, you're not going to give it a star because I'm going to knock you out if you give this movie a star, man. No way.
I'll give it a bomb, but go online and look at some of the pictures.
The pictures might be interesting just for the simple fact that if you look at some of these costumes, you'll be wondering, what was this guy dreaming? He obviously found some combination of acid and like weed or something, the director, to put these guys in these situations.
That's the pagan thing, though. It's all about celebrating earth and trees and reincarnation.
Fine. You can celebrate earth and trees, but I don't think anybody's going to look that stupid doing it.
Wearing a hair mask.
Okay.
A rabbit. But yeah, they call it a hair.
The worst, Mike. The worst. The worst. The bomb.
The original Wicker Man. Big bomb. Even though it's got Christopher Lee.
Oh, Al Pacino.
The Al Pacino hair. No, the scariest part of that movie was seeing him dressed up like that ugly woman with the long straight hair and the white face. Oh, well, that was part of the pagan ritual. They even told you about it in the book he was reading in the library.
Oh, you're trying to make sense out of something that
I am
obviously wasn't meant to make sense, dude. Okay, just leave it alone.
Okay, we'll leave it alone.
This movie offended me in so many ways. Okay, I feel violated having to sit for an hour and a half through this thing,
I'm
man.
really scared having to sit next to you and feeling violated.
You're lucky you didn't catch an elbow. I'm telling you, this was that bad.
Hey, you told me to bring it.
You're gonna hold that over my head, right? Yeah, because I thought it was an actual movie, not an advertisement for paganism or whatever it is. Okay,
tourism.
Give it up, Mike. Just bomb it. Bomb it.
All right, I'm Michael Mandy. He's violated Rowdy Jeff. We'll talk to you next week at the Horror Debate.